What's going on, friends? I'm stoked to be sharing 9 reasons why you should consider moving to Northern Kentucky. And not that they're limited to 9, there's probably hundreds. It's just what it happened to come out to be. So let's dive in. Reason number 1, in our market, your money goes a lot further relative to some other markets. For example, I grew up in a little suburb of Sacramento in Northern California. If we pull up a listing to see what about $1 million gets you in California and compare that to what you get in Kentucky, you get this in California or you get this in Kentucky. This in California, this in Kentucky. So I don't know what you'd rather have, but I'd rather have this in Kentucky than this in California. For example, a great starter home being 2 or 3 bed, 2.5 bath kind of a thing, you really can get a great property for 300 to 350,000, certainly under 400,000. And if you want to spend just a little bit more, get a little bit more space, you can really quickly get from that 4 to 600,000 and still get a decent house, something that's like a 4 bed, 3 bath, maybe with a finished basement, depending on the community you're in. In 2024, across the state of Kentucky, the average home costed just over $200,000. The average home in Northern Kentucky was just about $305,000. I would say that honestly the average home probably feels a little bit more like 350 to 400, generally speaking, but you certainly can get a decent house for that $300,000 to $400,000 price range. Reason number 2 are the schools. The school systems in Northern Kentucky actually do rank in the state. Specifically, US News put out a report that named Highlands High School as number 3 in overall rankings and Beechwood High School as number 5 in overall Kentucky ratings. Out of hundreds of schools, these 2 schools did rise to the top. That's really exciting to see. Greatschools.org can be a great resource and a tool for vetting schools and programs and trying to learn more about the districts that you're in before you buy a house. I would definitely recommend spending a little bit of time in this if this is something that's important to you. Reason number 3 for why you should consider moving to Northern Kentucky is proximity to a major city. Cincinnati is just across the river. There's a couple of bridges that can get us downtown really quick. And depending on where you are in Northern Kentucky, you really can get there fast. So there's a lot of downtown commuters. That brings a lot of jobs. That keeps the market very healthy. And what I love most is you can go just a few minutes outside of town, 15, 20 minutes, and you don't have street lights anymore. You can see the stars at night. You can have a campfire. You can find campgrounds and recreational areas and really have that suburb vibe. While if you want to get downtown to more of a nightlife or more of a city scene, you definitely can, and it's very quick and accessible. Which quickly brings us to number 4. Traffic in Northern Kentucky is really not bad. There are some areas in Texas and California, Bay Area, where traffic can be an absolute nightmare and put hours a day on people's commute. Here we have this beautiful loop of freeway that goes through Northern Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio that circles the greater Cincinnati area. What's beautiful about this is if you're inside that loop, you can be 15 to 20 minutes downtown, even with some traffic. And if you're outside that loop, if you're within 10 or 15 minutes from one of those major freeways, then that is quick, direct access to downtown and all of downtown surroundings. Which brings us right into number 5, the tri-state region. One of the beautiful things about this area is you have very quick access to Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky all in one tight little area. We're actually very close in all 3 states to be able to hop borders, and there are a lot of people that commute from Indiana, that come from Kentucky, that work downtown in Ohio. And the beautiful thing that not very many people know or realize is these states all have reciprocity agreements in place. Meaning, if you're a Kentucky resident working in Ohio or vice versa, and you properly file the reciprocity exemptions with your employer, you should be able to primarily pay state income tax for the state of which you reside, not the state in which you work. So if you work downtown and you live in Kentucky, you should be able to pay the lower Kentucky taxes while still having an out-of-state job. This also gets you around double taxation because you're not having to pay in the state you live and the state where you receive payment. Which walks us right in the door for number 6, lower taxes. We love not paying as many taxes. Kentucky's income tax actually just dropped in 2024 from 4.5% state tax to 4%. And there's been a lot of talk about trying to get to a 0% state tax. Though that's gone back and forth. There's politics involved in government and budgets and things like that. So who knows where we'll actually net out. But the plan is definitely to continue to lower that. In fact, it's expected to drop to 3.5% state income tax by January 1st of 2026 and hopefully see at least a few more drops on top of that. The plan to reach 0% has actually been abandoned for now, unfortunately. Maybe it'll bounce back, we never know. In fact, in late May of 2024, Kentucky Speaker of the House, David Osborne, admitted that the plan to eliminate personal income tax entirely doesn't really add up. Personal income tax generates 41% of the state's total revenue, tax revenue. So it's going to be hard to get the state to give that up, just being totally honest. However, low tax rates, Kentucky's great that way. Reason number 7, outdoor recreational opportunity. I love the outdoors. I love being outside. I love getting fresh air. I love getting away. I love not having street lights like I talked about earlier. Two really cool parks to highlight. Idlewild Park, England Idlewild Park. This park is huge and it just goes on and on and on. They've got some really, really cool areas. If we peek at the site map here, they've got mountain bike trails. They've got a lot of baseball fields. There's disc golf. There's a fishing pond. There's actually a little off-road bike course too. Our kids went to and had a blast at. They have an RC car outdoor racing dirt track as well that they maintain very well. There's a ton to do here. Plenty of parking, pickleball, dog park, soccer fields. A lot of fun here. Their disc golf course is actually pretty challenging. It's used often for legitimate competitions and is rated one of the top in our area. The second park I would highlight, which is huge and around here pretty darn well known, is AJ Jolly. AJ Jolly is a huge park. Plenty of things to do on the water like kayaking, paddleboarding, canoeing, fishing, 18-hole disc golf course, 6 baseball fields, soccer, basketball, sand volleyball, pickleball and tennis, cornhole, all kinds of space. Beautiful, super fun. Strongly recommend it. The third one I would highlight, which actually is not out yet, was just announced last year in Erlanger. The city is developing what they're calling Eon's Adventure Park. This is planned to be a 1,000-acre park that is an urban wetland adventure park. Sounds really cool, probably a lot of really awesome things. We have yet to find out for sure what their final plans are as they unfold. It's been said that we should be able to expect a variety of features, including mountain biking, hiking, a dog park, picnic shelters, playgrounds, tons of trails, and even a coffee shop potentially. Could be really cool. This is planned to be in the Erlanger-Ludlow area, and the first phase includes the development of the dog park and is supposed to be done this year. The 8th thing, 2 left, number 8. Beautiful seasons. You really do get 4 seasons in Northern Kentucky. I love this part of it. Some regions, some areas have long winters or long summers. We strike a great balance here. There are 4 quarters in the year and there are 4 seasons. Each season is about 3 months long. So you actually do get a beautiful, decent amount of springtime and spring weather, spring showers, bring Mayflowers, right? You also get a beautiful fall with the changing leaves. It doesn't just happen in a few days really fast. It actually, you get time to be able to enjoy the cooler weather and the beautiful colors. The winters are not too bad. You do get some snow. In fact, last year we had some record snow where we actually had 9 inches in one night stick on our driveway, which the kids loved, but that was kind of a fluke. So that doesn't happen very often. The summers are the only thing that personally I think can be a little bit challenging. We really don't get much hotter than like mid to upper 80s, probably, sometimes in the 90s, but really rare. The only real challenge, in my opinion, is when the humidity matches the heat. When the humidity's up and the heat is up, it can be really sticky and muggy and kind of uncomfortable. You sweat a lot more. If you do anything physical outside, you're definitely getting really sweaty and stinky probably. But generally speaking, even in summer times, that humidity doesn't always match up with the higher heats, and it's much more bearable and manageable. Number 9, last point, a strong sense of community. I love how friendly and how good people have been to us. We came here 10 years ago. We didn't know anybody out here. We dove right in. We were able to make a lot of friends, meet a lot of new people. Very good, very kind, very loving, very tight-knit, small town, suburb type vibe. And one thing that we found out that was actually pretty funny is when people would ask, well, what school did you go to? They're not actually referring to your undergrad or your college, like most of the country would assume that's what you're implying. They're referring to high school. And it's really funny to listen to people say, oh, You graduated in 2006, and that's the year that so and so was a quarterback, right? So they really know in and out a lot of the tight knit communities around here, and it's a lot of fun. So there you have it. There's 9 things that I personally love about Northern Kentucky and why I would consider moving here. It's a great area. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, smash that like button. We'd love your support, and we'd love for you to get updates of any new videos we release.